Hi, listeners. Welcome back. Thank you for joining for another episode of Through My Rearview Mirror. Today is October 19th, 2025, a super special day. My daughter turned 10 today. It's crazy. What's crazy about it is that I can't believe I reached this point in my life already. I have two kids that are double digits, 11-year-old boy, 10-year-old girl. It's really, really nuts. This morning, we spent a portion of our day down by the beach. My children have a sailing class on Sundays, which gave me some really good, uninterrupted time to think about what it is that I want to talk about in this second episode. There's a lot of thoughts, a lot of different things, but there's one recurring theme that came through it all. So today, we're going to talk about staying still. When I first wrote this piece, it came out really raw. It was like a flood of thoughts that I had been holding on to for years. And then I went back and I refined it a little. And the result felt powerful in a way that I didn't expect. So today I'm going to read that version to you straight from the page. In my last episode, I talked about starting this journey, starting this podcast, and putting my voice out there. It was a very fragile step that has taken me years to take, and it's a constant journey to stay committed to. Today, I want to share my real lesson in this new chapter, and that is about how stillness became the mirror that forced me to face everything that I had been outrunning. Stillness sounds peaceful, but when you've built your life around doing and proving, it can feel like you're standing in the middle of a storm. For most of my adult life, I've been in motion, chasing, fixing, planning, always moving towards something that felt like progress. But lately, life has been teaching me something I've always resisted, and that is how to live in stillness. Stillness hit me like a brick after I moved to Barcelona. When I lived in the United States, life just always felt like a race. Before I turned 40, I lived with this invisible timer in my head, a constant need to prove myself. Coming from a South Asian household, success was always measured in very clear and tangible ways. What I mean by that is career titles, financial milestones, respectability, college degree. And for years, I believed that story, that my worth was in my achievements. But when I moved to Barcelona, all of that suddenly disappeared overnight. This slow Mediterranean pace of life that we've stumbled into has been seeping in slowly. Then when I turned 40, something just clicked. I just stopped feeling to need to prove myself. And being an ocean away from my father's definition of success gave me the space to redefine what success meant on my terms. It was as if life went ahead and pressed pause on my behalf. At first, this pause felt unbearable. My thoughts were so loud, my silence felt like a void. And the worst part was, I didn't recognize my inner voice anymore. It was as if a stranger had moved into my mind, speaking desires that didn't sound like mine. I started having thoughts of creating a jewelry line and creating a travel group, learning photography, providing photography services. All these creative impulses it came from a place that I didn't understand. For someone who had always followed a clear linear path, school, job, marriage, paycheck, family, climb the corporate ladder, buy a bigger house. These urges just made no sense to me, and honestly, they scared me. I felt like I was losing control of my own narrative. And yet, somewhere deep down, I realized I wasn't losing control. I was losing the illusion of control. The stillness had stripped away every external expectation, and underneath it all, something truer has begun to emerge. Slowly, that stranger in my head started to sound familiar. These new desires, those random creative thoughts, the dreams that made no logical sense, they weren't coming from nowhere. They were coming from me. The me that had been buried underneath all those rules and definitions that I had inherited. Stillness didn't give me peace right away. It gave me clarity. And clarity can be uncomfortable. It forced me to face how much of my life had been built around fear disguised as control. I used to think control meant safety. But stillness showed me that control was often just fear dressed up as order. When I finally stopped moving, I realized that life keeps moving anyway, whether I chase it or not. So what was I really waiting for? For permission? For perfection? Or for the courage to finally listen to the voice that had been waiting for me all along? Now I'm learning to move differently. To take small, imperfect steps toward what feels real, even if it doesn't fit the old map. I'm not chasing clarity anymore. I'm practicing surrender. I'm not looking to move forward with perfection. I'm looking to move forward with intention. One small, flawed step at a time. I'm rediscovering the woman who was always there beneath all that noise. So if you're in a season of stillness, maybe it's not punishment. Maybe it's an invitation to return to yourself. Stillness doesn't mean that nothing is happening. Sometimes it's just life catching a breath through you. I want to leave you with a few journal prompts that maybe will help you find your way through stillness. My first one, that I urge you to find a soft, cozy, comfortable corner in your home. Find a pen or writing tool that speaks to you. Find a notebook that feels like you can just write, or whatever medium is comfortable for you. And think about some of these questions. What does stillness reveal that motion once hid from you? Why is it so hard to stop? And what are you afraid you'll find if you do? What does control mean to you? And how does it feel to let things unfold instead of forcing them? These are all questions that I still continue to answer on a daily basis because I want to be better. I want to be more honest to me. And I want to live my life on my terms. And I want to explore what I'm capable of. And I can't do that if I do it through the voices and expectations of everything and everyone around me. So I thank you for sitting with me as I reflect in my rearview mirror. And until next time, take care of your road ahead.